It's Kambada, the shaman, the god, the crack baby. And right now you're tuned in to Kofi's Universe, the number one and most truest source for hip hop news, reaction videos, sports, black culture, and much, much more. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Bada.
YouTube salute. Havoc of Mobb Deep was on Drink Champs this past weekend, and he finally explained why Tupac dissed Mobb Deep on Hit 'Em Up over a perceived slight in one of the group's lyrics. I'm gonna talk about it. If you're new to my channel, thumbs up the video, hit that sub button, click that bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. Before I begin, please do not say, "Oh, we know about this already." Stop speaking for everybody. There's a lot of people say, "Wow, I didn't know about this information," or "Kofi, can you talk about it?" Because even though we know about it, we want you to explain it to us and give us your perspective. So, dude, chill out or I'll block your ass. Anyway, though, so Havoc believes the origins of Tupac's beef against Mobb Deep was because of the survival of the fittest line. And let me break this down. So he said, I believe it was a combo of things. On survival of the fittest, we rap, thug life, we still living it. Check that out when you get a chance. Listen to that again. At the time, Tupac had an article in Vibe magazine when he was like, I don't want to do this thug shit anymore. So he probably thought we were like thug life. We still living it. F what he's doing. It piled up on LALA. And it was like, F these ninjas. All right. So he also talked about the LALA song, Havoc, referring to Capone and Noriega's track that was on the War Report that came out in 1997. So it was a response to Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg's New York, New York. Not the song, but the video. Not the song, but the video. Because Corrupt was giving props to New York. But when they trailer got shot up, they went back to LA and they went into a green room, and that's when you saw Snoop Dogg kicking over the buildings and stuff. So that's why. So that caused a lot of static between East Coast and West Coast as far as those rappers at that time. But you know, Capone and Daz is cool now. Nori and Corrupt is cool. But anyway, though, he also said, "Oh yeah, Mobb Deep, huh? You want to f with us, you little young ass MFs?" This is Tupac. He talking about that. Don't one of you niggas got sick or so or something? That's Tupac talking about that on Hit 'Em Up. So let's. This is 1996, right? All right. So what did Mobb Deep do? They was getting ready to release Hell on Earth. That came out in November 96. They released Drop a Gem on them. That was at the end of August. And Havoc explained that the track was pulled after Tupac passed away. When he died. But it still appeared on the album. A lot of people don't realize that. Because I remember when the track dropped, it was like a week and a half before Tupac got shot. I remember that. But at the same time, though, a lot of people don't know about that situation, what happened. And Prodigy, he was in his bag. He was in his bag, whatever, because there were more tracks Mobb Deep had in the cut. Like if you had bought the CD at that time, because remember, Loud Records had that it was like this, the CD-ROM had information and bonus tracks. They was doing it for like everybody album, and I think Exhibit was the first album they started off with that. Then it went to Mobb Deep, but they had a track called "In the Long Run." That shit hard as hell. They going at it. They going at it, whatever. And they sending shots to Tupac, Keith Murray and stuff, as far as Prodigy and them. But it's just sad because there are people who say that Mobb Deep was biting off Tupac. They say that. And there's people saying, nah, Tupac was just jealous of Mobb Deep. Tupac wasn't jealous of no Mobb Deep. I mean, let's be real. What he got to be jealous of them for? First and foremost, they never crossed each other. It's not like they was hanging out. You see what I'm saying? So Tupac's main concern was Biggie and Bad Boy. Everything else was just fuel to the fire. So Mobb Deep saying that probably triggered Tupac. Nas, um, talking about, thug life and all this other fake thugs, no love. You get this slug TV4 gusto, you run out of luck though. On the message, Tupac probably got triggered by that. There's a lot of stuff that was triggering Pac at that time in '96. And I think Mobb Deep was on the up and up as far as doing whatever they was doing. So for them to hear their name on Hit 'Em Up, and then when Tupac attacked Prodigy, Prodigy was like, okay, it's on. Prodigy verse on Drop a Gem on them. Woo, he got at Tupac. He got at Tupac. He let it be known. And it was gonna be, if Tupac would have never passed away, it was gonna be some shit. Lyrically and probably physically. Lyrically, they was gonna go at it. Because I know Tupac would have had more diss tracks for Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep would have continued to, send shots. They would have had they crewed infamous Mobb jumping on stuff, yada yada yada. I know Tupac had talked with Nas and they squashed their beef. And Tupac said he was gonna take off the diss track about Nas on Against All Odds, but he didn't get a chance because he was murdered. I don't think Nas would have actually jumped in that shit. That probably would have been between Mobb Deep and Tupac, but who knows? Who knows? But if Tupac would have never took Nas that Nas verse that he dissed him on Against All Odds, if he would have kept that, if he was still alive, Nas would have retaliated. Nas would have retaliated. He'd have been like, man, what's happening then? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like it would have been like Tupac and the Outlaws. You would have had Nas and Mobb Deep, Capone and Noriega. I know we had Cormega at one point, but when he got the boot out of the firm and they replaced him with Nature, Nature would have jumped in that shit. It would have been nice to see that. Then you have Biggie. He got rid of Junior Mafia and kept Little C's and Little Kim, and he wanted the Locks and Mace to help him do some tracks towards Tupac. A lot of people don't know. The Locks and Biggie had diss tracks towards Tupac, and they was getting ready to release those, but Pac passed away. I'm telling y'all right now, man, this has been crazy, but I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I'm glad, it didn't get out of hand. It's sad that Tupac was murdered. Don't get me wrong. It was sad that Tupac was murdered. The Prodigy, rise in power. We got some legends that passed away, but it's still that I'm glad it never got out of hand. When I mean out of hand, somebody could have lost their life. Somebody could have lost their life. Think about if Tupac was still living. Think about what, God forbid, if somebody from the Outlaws would have took out one of the Mobb Deep members or somebody from their crew, one of their entourage. See what I'm saying? You never know how the chips fall. Post your comments below. Hope smash Black Panther the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live.